Every day, people die and new ones are born, but life is not just about when you enter this world or when you leave it. Right now, in this moment, you exist. You are not an island. You are a part of it, a part of something big, complex, and amazing. You are not just an accident. You are not just a way to some random future. You are a finale, a part of the vast weave of time, space, and life. Stop and think about the way that only your kind can read these words, or think about them, or question their meaning. It may be that there is nothing at all beyond this life, but here, in this present moment, your life is significant. You are not outside of the world. You are the world. You are not a mirror that reflects the outside world, but the outside world looking at itself and understanding itself. For more than 4 billion years, Earth has been the home of an extraordinary revolution. Beginning 4.5 billion years ago, when the Earth was a boiling, hot, molten planet, and ending with the formation of the first primordial cells, life has grown, changed, and filled the planet. It is a long history of the rock beneath our feet, and every layer is a history of transformation. An example at a very basic level. The oxygen we breathe today is due to cyanobacteria that have been on this planet for over billions of years and transformed the atmosphere of the Earth through photosynthesis, a perfect example of life changing the environment in which it lives. However, this triumph of life is far more profound than that. As cells combine to create organisms and engineer sophisticated ways of moving through the environment, there was a nearly miraculous process underway. By way of birth and natural selection, life forms evolved, if only through a compulsion to live. But while the physical and biological evolution was going on, there was a more subtle revolution as well. Consciousness appeared to provide not only a sense of presence, but also a grasp of what it means to be. This movement from the basics of existence to thinking and looking inward is perhaps one of the most profound challenges of our time. At the heart of existence, there are two fundamental forces that determine the nature of reality. The first is the three-dimensional space we live in, which is a world of predictability that is based on mathematical laws. A stone always falls at 9.8 meters per second squared, no matter when or where you drop it on Earth. This is because we can build bridges, launch satellites, and even navigate through the physical world with a high degree of precision based on it. The second force is consciousness that moves through this highly predictable zone in an unpredictable manner. A child learning to catch a ball may fail many times before getting it right, and every attempt is different, with each failure telling the child something new, flitting back and forth between the fully understandable physics of the path of the ball and the completely unpredictable, evolving nature of learning. These two forces are in a fine balance, as if a jazz musician playing within the structure of harmony and rhythm. The understandable physical laws are the foundation: the musical scale, the tempo, the chord progressions. The spontaneity, the emotional interpretation, the unexpected flourishes that make each performance unique are the improvisation, the foundation, the predictable physical laws. In a world where predictability is paired with predictability, as it is in artificial intelligence systems, the result is a static and unchanging reality. In such a world, everything would be predetermined and fixed, and there could be no growth, learning, or genuine discovery. An AI can do millions of calculations per second, but it is constrained by its mathematical foundations and can never conceive that 2 + 2 could equal anything but 4. Understanding would exist, but it would be hollow, knowing without the richness of experience or the challenges that create innovation and adaptation. If life could be so in such a state, then it would not have the dynamic interplay that is required for it to evolve. Without unpredictability, there would be no questions to ask, no mysteries to solve, and no reason to seek meaning. The world would just be, without the complexity and depth that makes existence so extraordinary. On the other hand, when unpredictability is paired with unpredictability, the result is chaos. A system so volatile that no stable patterns could be or remain. Imagine a world in which not only thoughts but physical laws were in constant flux. In such a reality, learning is impossible because there can be no moment from which to inform the next. Evolution could not happen because there would be no consistent environment for beneficial adaptations to prove useful. This is why the universe itself teaches us the critical lesson of balance. From the precise forces holding atoms together to the delicate gravitational dance of galaxies, we see that stability and change must go hand in hand. But what happens when unpredictability is introduced into a system of predictability? This is the essence of consciousness and the miracle of life as we know it, a complex interplay between order and chaos, both present and interacting in a constantly changing way. Unpredictability is not bound to a rigid framework. It interacts with, challenges, and transforms the environment around it. Consciousness thrives because it is able to process what is not within its predetermined parameters, to imagine the impossible, question the unchangeable, and conceive of 2 + 2 = anything. This interplay has enabled life to evolve from mere survival, from instinct, into creative, reflective, and understanding domains. See how this balance is shown in nature? A tree grows according to precise genetic instructions and physical laws, and yet no two trees are the same. Every tree interacts differently with its surroundings, turning towards the light, strengthening its roots against wind, adapting to particular microclimate. This is the random consciousness of living organisms acting within the deterministic world of biology and physics. The history of the Earth is one of connected events, each leading to the next. It was not just a finish. The extinction of the dinosaurs was a start. They were the rise and fall of their era, and they made the ecosystems that allowed mammals to rise and lead to you. Without your consciousness, you are no different from the rest of the dance of life and death, survival and adaptation that created this world. And here you are, another living being who can think, who can wonder about your role in this immense cosmos, and who can reflect on the very nature of existence. It is not just a story of survival, it is a story of seeking, a story of life. We are much more than just the product of evolution. Life has been shaped by an intricate web of factors involving atmospheric, CO2 levels, great volcanic eruptions, and the profound effects of climate change over millennia. The Earth's orbital path around the Sun and the planet's movement through the galaxy have also played a critical role in the evolutionary process. These cosmic and environmental forces have wrought the conditions whereby not only could life exist, but could evolve towards the emergence of consciousness. In this book, we will explore how these forces shape our reality in all its forms. The physical dimension. How cosmic and geological forces brought about the very possibility of consciousness, from the perfect planetary orbital configuration to the biochemistry of life. The biological dimension, the gradual progression from simple awareness to self-reflection, as demonstrated by the rising complexity of nervous systems across species. The conscious dimension, how awareness functions within and impacts the world, from personal decision-making to the mass mind of humanity. The technological dimension, the rise of artificial intelligence as a new kind of predictability and what it means for consciousness. We will also explore the complex levels of the matrix system that is around us, the social, cultural, and technological structures that both enable and constrain consciousness. We often do not realize these structures unless we try to stretch their limits. When you question a societal norm or challenge an established belief, you are participating in the basic routine of familiarity and surprise. In this journey, we will see that the universe itself is an example of the fundamental concept of balance. From gravity, electromagnetism, and the strong and weak nuclear forces, four fundamental forces of physics, to the ecological system's equilibrium, the cosmos reveals that where there are opposing forces, there must be balance for life to exist and prosper. We will see how this principle is relevant to consciousness and why it is important for the future as we design technologies which may disturb this balance. This is the network of consciousness, the awakening mind, where one fundamental force fights to exist within the certainty that 2 + 2 equals 4, while the other fundamental force champions the possibility that 2 + 2 could equal anything. In this tension lies the essence of existence, the nature of consciousness, and perhaps the key to our future evolution.